Insights with Terri Coots, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Coots. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Thanks for joining me. We are going to explore together the week of April the 19th through the 26th, 2026. Now, we have a lot of Aries above us right now. And Aries, I'll explain it in a minute. Aries is in the sun sign. Aries is in Mercury, which is how we think, how we communicate, how we process. It is also in Mars, and Mars' ruling planet is Aries. So we have Aries in a Mars and Aries rule planet. So that's like triple here. And then we've got the other two on top of it. So we have quite a bit of this energy. Now, what is Aries? For the people that are just joining us, Aries in Greek mythology was the god of war. Passion, the red planet, passion. Now, guess what's going on? So we have to be very careful. Even as individuals, we have power in how we think, and our thoughts kind of go out there and conglomerate with other people and other people's thoughts, and that can turn into a glob of angry energy or angry thinking or divisiveness. It's really our job to be aware of what we're thinking. So with so much of this passion around, we have to be really careful that we throw just a little bit of water onto that fire. We can make it steam and make it very powerful. Venus, the planet of attraction, is in Taurus right now. On the 25th of this week, it'll turn into Gemini. Taurus is strong. It's a bull. It's very steady kind of energy. It takes a lot really to piss off a bull. It really does. But once you do, you got your hands full completely and utterly. But going into Gemini, Gemini's the thinker. Gemini's the one that can maybe help us. And it's also ruled, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is help us think, help us process information. So maybe with this energy and looking war in the face, this Aries energy, this combative energy, maybe we can have this tool when we pair it with the bull to communicate, to process, to have a dialogue with others. And hopefully, crossing our fingers, we'll have that happen. Now, Gemini is also on the 20th, on Monday, in the moon, is going to stay there until Wednesday. And that energy field, as I said, will help us be more willing to maybe have talks or communicate and hear what the other side has to say, not just what is in our mind, but how can we see another side. When I say communication, what I'm thinking of in this circumstance is to communicate is to be quiet enough to hear the other person's point of view. That's communication. I've been talked at, I've been talked to, and I have done that myself, talked at somebody. That's not communication. That's talking at somebody. Communication is give and take, being willing to learn what the other side has to say, to have enough self-discipline to calm ourselves down, to listen, we don't have to agree, but to listen, to be reflective enough on what the words of the other person says to say with some thought. I've given this some thought, and this is how I'm taking it. Or leave it with me. I'm going to process this. So that Gemini energy, cross our fingers, will help. Now, another thing in our favor is on Wednesday, the moon's going to go into Cancer, and Cancer is all about home, family, loyalty, love. Oh, that good, huggy kind of feeling that I absolutely love. When that occurs, maybe the powers that be, or ourselves as we send energy out in the universe, can send it out with hugs. We can send it out with love. We can let people know how important community is, family is, friends are, how spending time with each other goes far further than anyone can imagine. Just cultivating that relationship and that bond that I have with my pack. My pack is my family. I have family. I have human family that I love and cherish. But my pack too, all of the animals that are here, the 15 dogs, the birds, the parrots, the turkey, the geese, we're a family. And we spend time with each other, getting to know each other, getting to understand what the next move is going to be, or if I do this, this will happen. What boggles my mind is when people do something and they can't understand the response of another person. Let's take an example. Speaking of this Cancer energy, when Trump threatens to take over Canada, threatens to take over Greenland, the Panama Canal, yada, 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 and then insults his allies, pressures his allies, tries to bully his allies, and then gets stunned that we're not there to support him, that boggles my mind. I'm totally boggled by that. How a person thinks that they can do something like that and not have a consequence. And that's what this Cancer energy is trying to push towards us. When we do or think something or have an action, there's a consequence. So if I turn on the tap, the consequence is water comes out. If I hold my hand under the tap and turn the tap on, the consequence is I get sprayed in the face. If I drop or if I drop watery chicken into the hot oil in a cast iron frying pan, the consequence is splatter. So there's always a consequence of what we think, what we do, how these things matter. And that's what we're supposed to be learning towards the middle of this week. And then on Friday, the moon moves into Leo. Now, Leo is a fire sign, so we have to be careful of that. Fire, fire, fire above us, fire here. And then Gemini's wind. What happens when we have a campfire and a wind comes up? We could have sparks and we could have a forest fire. So we want to be really careful to be able to balance and temper that if we can. And we can, because we have to be conscious of the way we're thinking. Now, one of the energies that they showed us is that we've got to be careful in giving up too soon. One of the energies that's going to overlie us for this week will be in giving up too soon. And that kind of can go through our whole life, can't it? Giving up too soon means you lost. But if you never give up, and you want to make sure that the investment is worth it, but if you don't quit, you didn't lose. Now, I was wrestling with a hose this morning because the weather's getting nice, and one of the caps stuck on the hose, and I couldn't get it off. So now this hose is absolutely useless to me because I can't get a nozzle on it. Now, I was going to give up. I was going to say, you know what, I'm just going to buy another hose. But I thought, well, that's a waste. The hose is good. It's just this one piece I can't get off. Well, maybe I should phone Nick, or maybe I should phone Mace, or maybe next man that comes in the driveway could help me get this nozzle thing off. And I thought, no, that's giving up, isn't it? That's giving up. There's got to be a way to get this off. So I went and got pliers. I went and got a screwdriver. I'm thinking some way, a crow could do it, I can do it. I did get it off. About a minute before I was about to give up, it just came loose. I was so proud of myself. You think I just built the new Ambassador Bridge. So there's a lot to be said this week for not giving up or giving up too soon. So there's going to be some anxiety if we allow. There can be some disillusionment in how things are going. We have to guard against depression with this. There can be demoralization. I was demoralized. Like, what else could go wrong? I'm just trying to get the hose out here. I want to clean up some stuff. And then despair. Maybe I shouldn't have a farm anymore. And wasted energy by just thinking those things. So we have to be really careful. What we're thinking, are we tiring ourselves out? Are we stuck in anxiety? Do we feel like we're going nowhere fast? Is it lassitude? Are we encouraging hopelessness, helplessness? Is the way we're thinking abandoning success? So they really, really, really want us to look at this and the impatience that goes with us that makes rash decisions. and the unwillingness to see matters through to the completion. Getting into this job, that job, that job, and you never finish a job completely, so that feels like we're going nowhere fast, and that can end up in petering out. So this is an energy field that can turn into malfunction, it can turn into imbalance, impatience, or we can make it really fertile and work for us. Then the emotional energy around this is one of emotional success. If we can get to the top of this emotionally, we can be successful. Woohoo! Woohoo! I was a stupid thing this morning, but I was on top of the world after I overcame that little plastic piece. Some of us are going to find in our big life, our big soul life, that we'll feel like we're going nowhere fast. It's an energy field that tends to, when I say dampen, what it can do is just make us feel like we're not moving forward. We're just stuck. And maybe we're supposed to be stuck right now so that we don't go in the wrong direction. So sometimes when I feel like I just can't get going, maybe I'm not supposed to get going. Maybe I'm supposed to sit there for a moment, drink my cup of coffee, and think about what I'm about to do, and is there a better approach? So I think the universe is going to try to hold all of us back globally and individually so that we can progress with the best approach. It's not thwarting growth, and it's not trying to dash our hopes or anything. It's giving us a few difficulties so that we can slow down, we can look at things, maybe a couple of false starts here, and then we get to move forward, but not right away. Now, one of the concerns for me, a lot of hearts came up in the cards that I pulled for everybody. So emotions are going to be very significant in this week that's coming. And really, if you think about it, emotions are always significant in human life. We are going to feel that the effort isn't being put in by some people and we're doing all the work. If you're feeling that way, it doesn't hurt to communicate. Use that Gemini energy and say, may I have some help over here? Would you mind coming with me to get some grain, and the two of us could lift the bags and I'll take you for lunch? Would you mind coming and helping me get my car to the gas station? Would you mind asking for help, asking for energy input? If you're putting out all the energy and you feel that you're not getting it back, then we have to look at what about me is not engaging or communicating in what I need. Now, one of the scarier things that came up is the devil. I hate when the devil comes up in a reading. But by the same token, there's lessons in it, which is we have to look beyond the mask. We have to look at things the way it really is. Because we can be stuck in bondage. We can be stuck in self-imposed limitations because we're not looking at things the way they're supposed to be. And they're asking us to look at really the power of negative thinking. That is really the power of positive thinking people know about, but they don't know the power of negative thinking. And sometimes it's really hard to let that go. And sometimes the pessimism gets something we get used to and we refuse to leave it, or we refuse to leave a bad situation. So that can become excessive dependency on things. So really look at your lives this week. Actually, we should always be doing this. Looking at our lives and saying, am I thinking negatively? Do I default to that type of thinking? Or maybe it's just a situation I'm in right now and I'm thinking negatively. So they really want us to take a look around and see what really is. And how can I change that by how I'm thinking, how I'm viewing it. So they want us to get on board, get in the saddle and get going. Now, on that note, I want to thank you. I promised not to make these too long and boring. So I want to thank you for taking your time and sharing it with me. Biggest gift in the universe. And I want to thank Charlie O'Brien for putting it on all the platforms. I can't even go through them all that he does. I will, but I can't. There's just too many. And I really, really appreciate him doing that. And if you want to do a favor for yourself, tune in to the big number 8 radio. Charlie manages all of that. He's the owner and the manager of it. So that's the big number 8 radio.com. All the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, all the oldies. Make you feel good. Put it in the background. Clean your horse stalls while you're listening to the oldies that Charlie puts together. And if you need help or there's anything that I can help you with, dog training, readings, just give me a text or a call, 519-726-6699. Or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful week. Make good use of it, kids. Talk to you next week. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.